What's up, man? It's Bronco at the Frog coming at you with another reaction video. Hey, man, we giving boys they just do. Raymar Football is back in the building. Go subscribe to him. Get him to 572,000 subscribers. How one man forced Messi and CR7 Ronaldo sued to fight for second place. Shout out mans like Kaka. As soon as I brought up Kaka name, everybody in the Twitch chat said, man, his wife did him dirty. His lover did him dirty. Word on the street, they said she left him because she said he was too perfect. Come on, man. We all know what that means. That means that she for sure cheated and felt guilty and said that. Or she just don't like good guys. Because let me tell you now, Bronco, firsthand, girls do not like good guys. Good guys always finish last. She wants somebody that's going to be rough with her. You know what I'm saying? See, if you get what I'm saying. Because, you know, I know a lot of y'all a little too young out there. But she wants somebody that get a little bit rough with her, you know. Get a little bit, Hey, man, look at Twitch chat. Hey, let's go down.
In the 2010s, football brought what's arguably one of the most unique and impossible feats that we'll likely never see again. An entire era in which dominance was shared by only two individuals in the world. Because Messi and Ronaldo were just so much better than any other around them that the gap was unquestionable. A level so unreachable that had they not had the
You know what's crazy about this Real Madrid kid? I guess LAFC kind of took inspiration from this. Cause they got a kid. I'm probably not gonna find it, but LAFC literally got a kid that looked just like this, and I have it. I just don't feel like going up there and getting it out of my closet. Here you go, right here. This hoe literally looks the exact same, at least from the side. I don't know what the front look like, but you see, Adidas just recycled the template on some shit.
Level so unreachable that had they not had the unfortunate pleasure of being around, some other generational talents might have been crowned the best in the world in any other way. However, before the world became divided between these once-in-a-lifetime superstars, before every online debate boiled down to Messi versus Ronaldo, there was a brief, unbelievable moment in football where one man forced these two anomalies to fight for second place. And he also did it in an era full of stars in every corner of Europe. And nothing quite sums up his peak more than this one simple goal, making the then mighty.
I see every time I see this, I just laugh, bro. I know, Kaka do mean shit in some language. He said Turkish.
The then mighty.
This man had boys out here giving his teammates concussions.
Prime Manchester United look like a bunch of Sunday League
players,
scoring one of the most graceful, unintentionally disrespectful goals in football history. Because at his best, the story of Kaka was just such, making ridiculous things look simply effortless. Like his teammate and one of the greatest midfielders ever, Andrea Pirlo.
Hold on, let me pause real quick. Why I got me fucked up? It got me fucked up. Hey, man, Big Bronx is like, Hey, Big Bronx get down, huh? Hey, you better ask around, boy. Big Bronx ain't exactly no nice guy, so I ain't gotta worry about mans like Kaka. Get a deal like Kaka. Hey.
2 or 3 years, he was the best player in the world. There was a point where teams just had no idea how to stop him. And unfortunately, it was true, because what would eventually slow Kaka down was not any defender or tactic, but instead his own body. Like a star burning too brightly and too strongly. Physically, he would eventually slow down, and he would end up burning out too quickly. So for the younger generation that never got to see him, this isn't nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. It's a reminder that before Messi and Ronaldo reigned supreme in the footballing world, there was one final king before them. An artist whose genius was unlucky enough to have a legacy as immortal as it probably should have been. The brief but unquestionable magic of Ricardo Kaka. The interesting thing about Kaka's story is that it doesn't fit the chaotic archetypes of your typical Brazilian footballers. He wasn't raised in the favelas, nor did he.
That's what's nuts for me, because every time I see him, I don't think Brazil. Like, if you would have pulled up Kaka on the picture, I'd probably say he looks a little Italiano. He gives me like little Spaniard, maybe like Portuguese. He don't give me Brazil.
Poverty or street football mythology. Kaka grew up in a relatively upper-class family of European descent. And it was that, plus his youthful appearance, that made many initially consider him to not be as tough, hard, or skilled as other rising Brazilians in his youth. That was until he got onto the pitch, and they watched him outclass everyone around him. Maybe he didn't have the traditional Brazilian flair, but undoubtedly he had the technique, touch, IQ, and composure that was ahead of every other teenager in the country. But at age 18, everything nearly ended. In a freak swimming pool accident, Kaka would fracture his spine. And when he got to the hospital, the doctor...
What he do? Dive in a pool that... He must have dove in a pool that was shallow and broke his neck. Hit his head at the bottom of a swimming pool, fracturing his neck in an accident that could have left him paralyzed. Not only paralyzed, a nigga could have died. Breaking your neck underwater?
Would fracture his spine. And when he got to the hospital, the doctors were clear. Paralysis was possibly on the table. His footballing career, his dreams, and his future would potentially
Can't take that for granted no more.
Back, Kaka later admits that the experience reframed his entire life.
Being able to
that
move.
moment changed everything. However, by some miracle or simply a stroke of fate, Kaka's spine would recover and avoid any major complications. From then on, he said, "I play because I wanted to enjoy the life God gave back to me." That would really be the start of his religious journey. Sure, a lot of footballers are Christians, but Kaka is probably one of the best known examples of a Christian footballer. From then on, he went to famously become one
Imagine going from not knowing if you can move again or be able to walk again or move to being able to just be back to normal. Now, you can't take life for granted. You can't take moving or walking for granted. He finna go out there and play his heart out.
Famously become one of the best and most positive influences of any footballer ever. So perfect that ironically, later in his life, his wife would even leave him.
That's it. Yeah, it is what I'm talking about. So he was too perfect of a husband. Kaka never betrayed me. He treated me well. He gave me a wonderful family, but I was not happy. Something was missing. You know what it sounded like to me? My boy Kaka meat must have been little. No kidding. That's what it sounded like. Yeah, bro, meat had to be little, bro. That's it. I'm just keeping straight up. Like, you know, I'm just keeping 100% spade to spade. Like, that's the only way. She said he never betrayed him. Treated her well. He gave a wonderful family, but she still wasn't happy. What does that mean? That means he wasn't doing he wasn't scoop. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just being real, man.
Too perfect. That's
boys know he wasn't.
Ever since the accident, he played like someone who.
Why you think she was cheating? He is a professional. Why you think she was cheating on a professional footballer like Mr. Kaka? Look at the way she biting this nigga cheek. I'm telling you, she's a freak. This nigga Kaka not no freak. Look at him. Hold on. Nigga ain't no freak. Look at him. He belongs to Jesus. He not with all that freaky shit.
The Brazilian league, then we're definitely.
Yeah, he's a man of God, but
Milan won this.
Oh, hold on, I done skipped past it. What the thing
as one of the most technically skilled players in the Brazilian league. At the accident, leave him.
There it is. She on that different shit though. I'm telling you, man, y'all want to listen. She thought that she was finna get her a United player. You know, all them United niggas was freaks. Hey, you know them niggas was on some other shit. She was like, oh, I thought all footballers was like them United boys. Nah, honey.
Being too perfect, that's crazy. But ever since the accident, he played like someone who'd been given a second chance at life. The 19-year-old would go on to have 25 goal contributions in 31 matches, quickly building a reputation as one of the most technically skilled players in the Brazilian league as a teenager. But even then, when AC Milan paid 8.5 million euros for him in 2003, it was treated as sort of like a gamble on a talented but unproven youngster.
Back in the
day. The prices back then were definitely not as insane as they are today. However, within weeks, Kaka would force his way into a midfield of Pirlo, Seedorf, Gattuso, and Rui Costa. Players whose reputations alone would have intimidated most young arrivals. And yet, Kaka played with a calm authority and immediately set himself apart. Manager Carlo Ancelotti later put it simply, "We expected a good player. What we got was a phenomenon." In his first season, Milan won the Scudetto, with Kaka producing a total of 20 goal contributions. Woo! Incredibly astonishing for a 21-year-old midfielder fresh from Brazil. But what impressed Milan's veterans wasn't just his technique. It was the way he blended opposing qualities effortlessly. You wouldn't look at Kaka and think he was fast, but he had those long elastic strides of a sprinter that made him surprisingly fast. He had the creative brain of a classic playmaker, but he also had the touch, finishing, and instincts of a forward. And though his appearance might make you think he looks soft, Kaka was actually pretty big and decently heavy, standing at
that boy off appearance, the man Kaka does look a little soft. That's all I'm gonna say.
7 centimeters or 6'1", running around at 180 pounds or 82 kilograms. Added with his speed and stamina, Kaka was all over the midfield, and he could press hard.
Man,
really,
damn,
Kaka was the first of a new kind, a modern,
long
attack-focused midfielder who could not only play make and score, but was also physically imposing and had an incredibly high work rate. Truly, it's hard to find any kind of player with his sort of build and style, because if there are midfielders that play like him, there aren't ones with his build and his speed. And if there are guys with the same physical stats, maybe they're also great playmakers, but they weren't great dribblers and finishers like him.
He could do it all.
Kaka blurred the boundaries of what a midfielder and forward were supposed to be. In just his second season in Italy, Kaka would have a total of 28 goal contributions, including 2 goals and 6 assists in the Champions League, helping his Milan side beat Man United in the round of 16, Inter Milan in the quarterfinals, and PSV in the semi-final. However, unfortunately, that Champions League final did not go in Milan's favor, as Liverpool's infamous miracle of Istanbul helped them come back to win 2-3 in penalty shootouts.
The fact that he saved that hole while falling back
helped them
like
come
that,
back to win 2-3
body going this way, let me stick my arm out.
In penalty shootouts. The 22-year-old Kaka was already one of the most important players in Milan. At that age, it was not normal for someone to be that productive playing behind the striker. But one really underestimated factor of Kaka's game was his dribbling. And it's so interesting because his long strides really deceives the audience. On TV, when he's dribbling, it seems like he's not that fast. But in real time, defenders saw something else entirely. Someone who ran with the ball as fast as some players run without it, all while being able to stay in control.
Them long strides. You see Usain Bolt, the fastest man to ever live, quote unquote, even though I used to think he was doped up on drugs. But this man here, long strides give you an advantage versus somebody who is like short and got real short strides and got to exert more energy. If you got longer strides and got good form and know how to run, you're going to be naturally faster.
2006 World Cup is one of Brazil's crown jewels, and in a tournament where Brazil underperformed collectively, he was one of the few to shine, scoring a stunning long-range goal against Croatia and carrying Brazil's transition, and overall carried an aging Brazilian squad. Brazil was very attack-heavy, and their attacking legends like Ronaldo and Ronaldinho were getting much older, and they would eventually lose to one final Zinedine Zidane masterclass. And even though Ronaldinho had just won the 2005 Ballon d'Or, it was clear that Kaka was the best Brazilian in the world. Because despite Brazil's bitter exit in the World Cup, that past season in AC Milan, Kaka would provide a total of 30 goal contributions with 19 goals and 11 assists. And for Kaka, everything was pointing towards something special in the 2006-2007 season. In the round of 16, Milan found themselves unexpectedly struggling against the 2007 season. In the round of 16,
everybody straight face. See, this is what his wife was talking about. Everybody straight face, ready for game time. Kaka just sitting here. Look at him. Hey, look at this happy ass nigga, man. Tell these because he has a second chance on life, bro. He broke his neck in the swimming pool. He just can't believe that he can even move again.
Unexpectedly struggling against
let alone play foot.
Their first leg matchup ended in a 0-0 draw. However, in the second leg, Kaka would put on a midfield masterclass, completely dictating the rhythm of the match, as well as scoring the game-winning goal to send them ahead. And it was there that they came across Bayern Munich. The first leg was once more a heated battle, as even though Andrea Pirlo and Kaka would score, Bayern Munich would equalize, ending the match 2-2. However, during the second leg, Milan and Kaka had much more control of things in the midfield. This time, they would completely dominate Bayern Munich, with heroics from Seedorf and Inzaghi ending the match 2-0. But this brings us to the semi-finals against Manchester United. And even though it was only the semi-final, it truly felt like the final. Cristiano Ronaldo would open the match early with a 6-minute goal. But in the 22nd minute, Kaka would come in and put a clean left-footed strike past
Kaka say, watch out, Naldo.
Then in the 37th minute, a long ball forward would flick between two United players.
This was United
towards the box in the very last second. Put a cheeky little header to get the ball in between defenders.
In the Champions League doing this is nuts.
They would embarrassingly collide with each other, completely confused and dumbfounded. As Kaka would take one simple touch, gather the ball, and calmly sink in another past Edwin van der Sar. At that moment, the United supporters were completely silenced, and although Rooney would score 2 goals later to end the match 3-2 in Man United's favor, Sir Alex Ferguson later admitted we simply couldn't handle him. Because even though United won that match, it was perhaps that moment that seemingly killed their confidence. Because in the second leg at Milan, Kaka would open the match with an 11th minute goal, and AC Milan never looked back, as they would dismantle Man United 3-0 and be on their way to the final.
Fuck them.
And finally, Milan would have the chance to get revenge on Liverpool for their infamous comeback in the Champions League final 2 years prior. And this time, Kaka didn't need to score. He would assist Inzaghi for the opening goal, and they would never look back. Throughout the entire match, Kaka and Milan controlled transitions, dominated the midfield, and kept Liverpool at arm's length. Essentially, Kaka had match-winning influence in every stage.
They got their get back.
So when December came around and Kaka won the Ballon d'Or in 2007, the gap was huge. A clear landslide victory over both Messi and Ronaldo. Ironically,
how many people can say this? How many people can, even if it was before they officially arrived, Kaka can still say I was in the top 3 of Neil and Ronaldo and got me one by a landslide. He say, look at the style. Hey, that boy Neil was swag that. Neil the cleanest nigga up here, low key. Shit, that boy Ronaldo got a leather bike jacket with the collar popped with the spiked hair. Nigga been watching Step Up. What's that movie called? Not Step Up, but you know that whole genre of 2000s movies and all of that they used to be popping. That boy Ronaldo been watching too much Hollywood. Neil just chilled, just a little Adidas hoodie with some jeans. Kaka more well established, but I rock with Neil swag a little bit better.
And Ronaldo. Ironically enough, in the following 2007-2008 season, from a production standpoint, Kaka would actually have the best season of his career, a total of 34 goal contributions in 41 matches. But that year, the Manchester United team that he had beat just the previous season were just way too dominant, with Cristiano Ronaldo taking that next level. But like I said, Kaka was still coming off his best individual season so far. That's why in the summer of 2009, Real Madrid paid 67 million euros to transfer him to Spain. And at the time, Real Madrid had been relatively struggling against Barcelona. And with the additional transfers of guys like Xabi Alonso and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Hey, RIP Xabi, you know that man just got packed up over to Real Madrid. Just made a video about it. Everybody go hit him a TikTok. Let me see where it's at now. Let me refresh. Put it on TikTok and the gram. It said 4,000 views on the talk right now. At the gram, the Broncos 0. You already know what time it is, man, about Mbappe and Xabi Alonso and that whole fiasco. Y'all know.
For Kaka fans, it felt like it was the beginning of a second peak. However, instead, it became the start of a slow and painful decline. In the season before his transfer to Real Madrid, Kaka would suffer an ankle injury and miss a total of 7 matches, being out of play for over a month. And early into his first season with Madrid, it would happen again, once more being out for a total of 30 days. But despite the injuries and having to adapt in a new league, Kaka would still have a very productive 21 goal contributions in 33 total matches played. That included 15 goal contributions in 25 La Liga matches, as well as 4 assists and 1 goal for 5 goal contributions in 7 Champions League matches. Prior to his injury, Kaka had 1 goal contribution for every Champions League match he played. So for Kaka, things were looking incredibly good, and maybe Kaka could have even fully recovered, if not for the fact that after his first season at Real Madrid was the 2010 World Cup. And despite Kaka already being a World Cup winner in 2002, he was just 19 years old and not a big part of the squad. In 2006, when he was the best player on the squad, he was playing with a much older squad and they exited in the quarterfinals. So in the 2010 World Cup, as a veteran, he wanted to lead his country to another World Cup trophy. Despite coming off back-to-back injury-riddled seasons, instead of choosing to rest and rehab, Kaka decided to push forward and play in the
World Cup.
But looking back, it was definitely not worth it. Because firstly, in a match against Ivory
Coast,
I
don't know about the not worth it thing. Like, the World Cup is what you desire for. That's what you strive for. Imagine saying you skipped out of World Cup. You never know. It could be your last.
Definitely not worth it. Because firstly, in a match against Ivory Coast, Kaka would get red carded, all because an Ivory Coast player decided to flop and dive. Completely shameless and ridiculous, by the way, causing him to miss out on a match against Portugal, depriving fans of watching Ronaldo and Kaka face off. Then in the round of 16, while Brazil would destroy Chile, Kaka was visibly physically exhausted. Then in the quarterfinal against the Netherlands, with their trio of Wesley Sneijder, Arjen Robben, and Robin van Persie.
Hey, them niggas got, hey, tell me these niggas ain't got no aura, man. This is aura if I ever seen it. Yeah. Woo! Look like these boys finna go crazy.
Robin van Persie. As Brazil would take the early lead, Kaka had the possible chance to seal the match with a second goal, a perfectly strike curling shot to the top corner. However, Dutch goalkeeper Martin Stekelenburg had one of the best saves in the entire tournament. And in the second half, Wesley Sneijder would score 2 goals to seal the victory and send Brazil home. So in hindsight, maybe Kaka should have just sat that tournament out. Because shortly after the World Cup, Kaka would be diagnosed with meniscus damage. And this would cause him to miss a total of 29 matches, being out of play for 148 days.
Damn, yup, 3 years. He ain't come back to 3 years later. Torn muscle. Oh no, I lied. I thought this was his obviously I just read the chart wrong. This don't mean this was his first game back. That just means he got injured again. So yeah, he was out for 148 days and got hurt again 3 years later. Torn muscle fiber in the adductor, and yeah, that's like the groin area. I learned that from AD. He was sick, influenza, aka flu, leg injury, hamstring, groin, again, muscle, groin, muscle.
Destructive injury of his entire career.
Orlando City, Major League Soccer.
All of this is that when Kaka did recover, he would have a total of 13 goal contributions in 20 matches, including 7 goals and 5 assists for a total of 12 goal contributions in 14 La Liga matches and 1 goal contribution in 3 Champions League matches. For context, that's incredibly efficient for someone who came back after basically missing over half the season. This injury would not only destroy his speed, agility, and quickness, but it would sadly take away years of his longevity. Because in the 2011-2012 season, despite moving like a ghost of his former self, Kaka would never lose that touch, vision, or playmaking.
Still went crazy.
He would have a total of 24 goal contributions.
He said gay bro in his
face. Where he really shined was in the Champions League. Because throughout his entire career, the tournament in which Kaka has always shined the most and has been his most efficient has been in the Champions League. In this 2011-2012 Champions League season, he would have 3 goals, 9 goal contributions in 8 Champions League matches. Honestly, I don't think Champions League Kaka gets as much recognition as he really deserves. Because in that Champions League campaign, he was absolutely on fire, despite coming off an injury that would completely destroy most careers. But the craziest thing is that despite his form in the tournament, during the semi-final first leg against Bayern Munich, Jose Mourinho decided to completely bench Kaka.
I am Jose Mourinho.
Real Madrid losing 2-1. I mean, come on, benching the most informed player after Cristiano Ronaldo is crazy. Because in the second leg, Jose Mourinho did realize his mistake and start Kaka. But it was too little and too late as Madrid would lose 3-4 in penalty shootouts.
And then Kaka missed. Oh, Ronaldo missed. Oh, Sergio Ramos missed too. Look at David Alaba. Look at that Austrian right there. Toni Kroos missed.
By the following 2012-13 season, Kaka's body had just deteriorated more and more, as he only made a total of 27 appearances with 10 goal contributions. And it was around this time that Kaka would also suffer another muscle tear in his abductor region. And after this, his body would never really come close to recovering again, as he would leave Real Madrid, go back to play one more season in AC Milan, and by the age of 32, head back to Brazil to play one last season for his boyhood club, Sao Paulo. Kaka would eventually decide to end his career in the MLS playing for Orlando City FC. And while eventually decide to end his career in the MLS playing for Orlando City FC. And while he did show his skill, IQ, and overall brilliance, Kaka would still be riddled with injuries for every season he played in his brief 3 years.
The Disney crowd, the Disney fans. It's just crazy how the different vibes that you see or the different fans you see. I always say in other countries the fans are, you know, they just regular people or the common population. While in America, all of the footy fans, if it's not Latino, it's like the theater kids type.
To end his career in the MLS playing for Orlando City FC.
It's like they cosplaying. It's like they cosplaying. I just can't give the vibe, but
to end his career in the MLS playing for Orlando City FC. And while he did show his skill, IQ, and overall brilliance, Kaka would still be riddled with injuries for every season he played in his brief 3 years in MLS. Although he never had the monstrous goal and assist numbers of Messi and Ronaldo, even though his body was breaking down in his late 20s, Kaka in his prime is one of the best attacking midfielders in history. A guy who can dribble and create his own goals, a guy who can shoot from distance, surprisingly fast and strong, and incredibly high work rate and genius playmaking. He had all the traits you could ask for at that position. And while it was comparatively too brief and too injury-riddled to really outlast the test of time, put any of the all-time great midfielders beside him, and Kaka could have done what they could do, and more.
And more. And it's ironic that you say that. Eunice said KDB clears. Just as the moment he said you could stack him against any of your favorite midfielders, and he could do just what they do and more.
Beside him, and Kaka could have done what they could do, and more.
Y'all agree with that statement? Everybody clap it up. Raymar Football. Get that man to 572,000 subscribers. One man how one man forced Messi Ronaldo to fight for second place, man. He said that boy girl got snatched. He said he was perfect. Asking why y'all need to chill on mans like Kaka, bro. Y'all need to chill on that man. Chill on that man. You want to say KDB clears is not a debate? Hey, the man Kaka has a ballon d'or. Fred say he can't make a curve header assist. Hey, the debate is there, I guess. Hey, how one man forced Messi Ronaldo to fight second place. Shout out man like Kaka. Come on.